Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right, so hi guys. What I'm just going to run through is something called like it's Maitland basically. So Maitland's an Australian physio in the 90s, came through with the theory of mobilisations and range of motion. Also Maitland does all the PIVMs, the passive intervertebral ranges and stuff like that. So what I wanted to just show you is when you're looking at someone with a lumbar spine problem or a spinal issue, we can use like these cubes to draw what's going on. So all you do is you get a pen and do a cube like that, okay? So here we've got flexion, yeah? We've got lateral flexion, right, or RLF, and then here we've got lateral flexion left, and then here we've got extension, yeah? And what you do is, so say for example someone goes into flexion, we look at how far they've moved, so you then draw an arrow here as far where they get. So say for example we think they got about 50% range of motion, draw an arrow there, so they've got to there, and then they get pain 1, yeah? Then if we go lateral flexion to the right, we then say, oh, they get 50% there, and then they get pain 1, yeah? And then what we do is we've got full extension. So for example, so you draw an arrow there, and then left lateral flexion, you can get, they've got about 75%, so they get to there. All right, so then what you can do there is, and you put 2 ticks there, 2 ticks there, because they're fine. So basically we know now that when they go into flexion, they're restricted. When they go into lateral flexion right, they're getting restriction by 50% range of motion, and they're getting pain 1. And then you've got your P1 equals VAS, say 7 VAS score. So then what you can actually do then is just join those up as well. So, oh, and I've also forgot another one. So rotation. So the way you do rotation is you go up and across like that. So we draw that to there, or in this case we'll do a 50% restriction right there, P1, yeah? So you draw this kind of movement for rotation, yeah? It's a square to the left, rotation to the left, square to the right, rotation. So anyway, so you can then fill that out a little bit. Imaginary lines. I don't know if this is actually including Maitland, but it's quite good as a visual. So from then the lumbar movement, that we know that they're restricted into flexion and then right lateral flexion, yeah? But they've got okay range of motion left side and extension. So then we can actually work out what's the pattern. Is it a compressive pattern or is it a stretch pattern? And it depends where the pain is. Because if they've got, let's say they've got left lumbar pain, so they've got pain in their left lumbar spine in here, yeah? Pain 1, yeah? And they're getting it when they go into flexion and right lateral flexion, we know that the pattern's a stretch pattern, yeah? But let's just change it all round then. Let's say, for example, they restricted in extension and left lateral flexion and combined, then they'd have a compression pattern, yeah? And the reason that helps us is then we can go, actually, well, what structures are injured? So if we've got lumbar pain here and it's a stretch pattern, when we go into those movements, what structures are we affecting there? Is it the left erector spinae? Is it the left quadratus lumborum? Or is it the glutes being stretched? Yeah? Or is it depends, or is it the opening of the joints causing the disc to protrude? Or is it the facet joint that's being compressed that's causing the issue? So then using Maitland's kind of visuals like that, we can then use that to clinically reason what structures are being stressed. Okay? So yeah, just go and recap them again. Maitland's diagrams, cube, flexion, I'll do another one here. So you get the cube, okay? And you go, flexion is forward, tick, tick. Extension is backwards, tick, tick. Left lateral flexion, tick, tick. Right lateral flexion, tick, tick. And then rotation, tick, tick. And then left rotation, tick, tick. It's something like that anyway, okay? And then you can fill the gaps, and it gives you a picture of the range of motion. So, all right, I hope that helped, but it's just a good way of looking at kind of rotation and movement of the spine, and you can do it with the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and the cervical spine in your nose. All right.